All right, it is noon on Friday, March 20th. You'd think I'd be getting better at this date thing, as it goes along, but yes, definitely have not. So that's not something that has changed for me. Just want to kind of give you guys a couple updates. And as always, we continue to have Hancock Helps updated regularly. New meetings. I do want you to kind of keep an eye out for a couple things. So one, Smart Recovery is still going to meet. That is Wednesdays at 5:30. So we're going to be pushing that information out on our Facebook page. So again, Smart Recovery, that's Wednesdays at 5:30. That's normally at Focus. They're not going to be meeting in person. They're going to be meeting over Zoom. The link is going to be on our Facebook page, and we are happy to help you figure out how to connect to that. One of the cool things about Zoom is that it can adapt to your technology. So if you're a person that likes to just want to phone in, old school, goodness gracious, it's weird that that's kind of old school now, but just call in from your phone, you can do that. If you want to join by video conferencing, you can do that. And you can either do that with video, without video, kind of whatever floats your boat, sinks your battleship there. Smart Recovery is still going to happen, and then also online recovery support groups. So it's going to follow the format of just an open recovery group. So it's going to be every day, just like these recovery check-ins are every day, 7 days a week. We're going to have an open recovery meeting every single day at 4 o'clock. So that's going to start today. We will be pushing out that link. And again, if you have any problems or you want to help us kind of brainstorm, troubleshoot how you can get connected to recovery support during this time where, you're supposed to be staying at home and following those CDC guidelines, we're happy to help you brainstorm that. You're welcome to call Focus. Our phones are always staffed. So it's kind of a cool thing, technology these days. When you call Focus, it actually can ring through to our phones. So that way, even if there's no come through. So we are here to answer 10 to 7 in our. Those are the two things: Smart Recovery, open recovery meeting at 4 o'clock every day. Stay up to date with Hancock Helps. The call line for general questions is live in the county, as well as the call line from Blanchard Valley if you believe you have symptoms. That brings us to the meat and potatoes, or I don't know, salad, kale and spinach. Just trying to think of an appropriate vegan option. We'll go with kale and spinach. It's all I got right now as far as the creative juices flow. To today, and that's our recovery check-in. So, we've talked about a lot of different topics from structure and having perspective and gratitude and all of those things. So, today's gratitude moment for me is I am incredibly grateful to have a wonderful support system who drops bananas off for me. My daughter loves bananas, and all the grocery stores around me were out of bananas, and they were able to give me a bunch of bananas. So she was totally digging those this morning. So even in the midst of things that are really stinking hard, there's always good. There's always wonderful things and beautiful things and awesome things to look for. So today's recovery topic we're going to talk about is kind of the concept of grace, of loving kindness to yourself and to other people. We are in really weird times. I'm just going to throw it out there like that because I don't know a better way to describe it. Things are just weird right now. Like there's this sense of urgency and emergency, and then there's like this sense of normal, and I don't know, normal is a setting on a dryer, and like what's typical, and I don't know. And people are stressed. I know I'm stressed. The people that I love and care about are stressed, and that impacts your ability to show up as a person that you want to show up as. I've noticed in some interactions, people are kind of a little bit maybe more short with each other, lacking a little bit of patience for themselves, lacking patience for other people. So I wanted to talk about grace and space and loving kindness. The concept of giving yourself some grace is really extending the concept of kindness to yourself, giving yourself permission to have a break. Nobody's perfect. Nobody can adhere to that kind of standard. And so I think in these kind of really challenging times, it can be important to approach life and other people and yourself with an air of loving kindness. A lot of emotions, and that's either love. I am a person, I try to be really hard to operate out of love always. Love for myself, love for other people, love for my environment, love for those around me, whatever kind of creature that they are. And when I get stressed, I get short, I get impatient, and that's not practicing loving kindness to myself. Like I said, things are weird. Things are really weird right now. So I want to invite you to challenge yourself. Give yourself some space and some grace to breathe. Some space and some grace to just simply recognize that things are hard. Things are tough. Things are different. Things are weird right now. And in weirdness, lots of things can happen. We can either let that weird time kind of take us down and spiral and spin us out, or we can take that weird time as an opportunity, whether that opportunity for you is to reflect on kind of your life and your goals and where you want to be. Maybe that opportunity right now for loving kindness towards yourself is to just pause. Maybe you're a person who stays constantly busy, and maybe you just need some space in your life to just breathe for a hot second. And breathe. Give yourself permission to do the things that are good for your soul. And I have found that oftentimes the things that are good for your soul are often hard things for you to do. So for me, it would be to pause. It would be to have fun. I have trouble having fun. And in these kinds of times, I'm kind of being forced to be good at having fun, being much better at having fun. Like for example, I learned how to curtsy appropriately this week. In this kind of era of social distancing, I was like, maybe we should break like curtsy and bowing back. So like I was talking to one of my coworkers, and so we were maintaining that appropriate 6-foot distance, and I was like, how do you actually curtsy? I feel like it's a lost art. So I gave myself some grace, gave myself some space, and looked up on YouTube how to curtsy, and it was a lot of fun. I hadn't laughed like that in a while. So loving kindness towards yourself, and now also loving kindness towards other people. Not always. Sometimes people are just acting like silly yahoos. Really proud of myself. So, in instances like that, I want you to try to remember that people are going through some stuff. These times might be activating their anxiety or their depression, or they may be feeling alone and uncertain, probably feeling very similar things to what you're feeling. Give them the same loving kindness you would give yourself. Give them permission to be imperfect. Give them permission to have a not okay moment. I was talking to one of my colleagues who lives down in Columbus, and she and I were on the phone. She's like, yeah, I pretty much had to make a vow with myself to not take anything personally that people say right now. And because people were they're being angry with one another, and that's not usual for them. So it's like, it's like, I, Ellyn, you say right now, personally, because things are weird, and because I know that other people right now need that loving kindness extended to them. We are, at our best, we are a community. And when we come together and we give ourselves grace and space and give other people grace and space, it's a beautiful thing. That allows us to come together. That allows us to problem solve. That allows us to help meet the needs that we have in our community, which is a beautiful and wonderful and amazing thing. And so we need to keep that perspective, because by allowing grace and space and loving kindness, then you are also allowing community and a connection. And that is how we get through this. That is how we get through weird times, is together. I can't emphasize that enough. Really, while we cannot be physically close to one another right now, doesn't prohibit us from talking to one another, doesn't prohibit us from having video calls, doesn't prohibit us from checking in and sending that text that maybe you always thought about sending and you never did. Now you got the time to do it. So give yourself grace. Give yourself space. Give those that you love and that you care about, or even those that you just even marginally tolerate, some loving kindness. Extend that to them, because things are weird, things are uncertain. But I promise we're going to get through this together. Couple last things that I want to share is look for the beauty. There is always something dang pretty happening every day, And also, if you get a chance today, I know that the sun is not sunny. Oh goodness, I about sound like Dr. Seuss there. I read a lot of Dr. Seuss books these days, and it sounded like Cat in the Hat, where he comes in the house and he's like, and I know that the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun that is funny, or something like that. Yeah. And then the fish tells him basically to get out the house, because apparently cats in hats are not allowed in houses on rainy days. But anyways, so make like Dr. Seuss, and that even though the sun is not sunny, you can have lots of good fun that is funny. And today is a pretty nice day, so even though the sun's, I'm going to be opening the windows in my house. Get some fresh air. Go outside. Go for a little bit of a walk. Do something outdoors to connect you to that bigger world. It'll probably be a nice little deviation in your day. If you're at home and caring for trying to help them learn something, it might be some good time for some unannounced recess. Get outside, enjoy that weather, find some boots and stomp in some puddles, regardless of your age. And if you don't have any boots, consider barefoot. It might be fun, embrace that ridiculous side, and even give yourself that grace to embrace that ridiculous side of you. Just because you're maybe an adult doesn't preclude you from having fun and being silly and being goofy. So for today, just kind of want to recap. Give yourself grace, give yourself space, give yourself some of that loving kindness that, often we give so freely to others. Give it to yourself, give it to other people, have some fun, look for the good, look for the beauty. Remember that together we are a community, and we will get through this in different ways. And it's kind of cool, because it's kind of forcing us to problem solve in ways that we haven't before. So that's all I have for your recovery check-in today. Again, focus, we're going to be having an open recovery meeting today at 4. So if you need help joining or want to know how that works, don't be afraid to give us a call, email us, message our Facebook page. We'll help you get connected, but that'll be today at 4 and every day while we're in this kind of situation. And I will be back tomorrow at noon with another recovery check-in. So stay safe, stay healthy, and keep your hearts and minds resilient. And we'll see you tomorrow.